Verbal and nonverbal cues are used to make communication effective. Therefore, the use of nonverbal cues like gestures, facial expressions, dramatization enhance nonverbal communication. A combination of verbal and nonverbal make the communication effective. Gestures are used for the following reasons. Number one, they complement what the speaker is communicating. They also keep both the speaker and the audience focused on the speech, or in our case, the narrative. Now, they also give emphasis to the meaning in the narrative, and sometimes they just portray the confidence of the person that is presenting that narrative on the stage. Now, examples of common gestures used in communication include the show of acceptance, that is using the thumb up. Again, you can have making a fist to show strength or ability. We can also have moving both hands in a circular manner to show size, waving to greet or deny based on the context of that which the person who is communicating wants to express. We also have facial expressions, and such expressions show contempt, happiness, sadness, anger, disgust, and they can also show an appreciation. Examples of facial expressions include the show of sadness or anger, bulging eyes, pressed lips, vertical lines on the forehead, that's a frown, one side of the mouth raised, dilated nostrils. We also have those that show surprise, for example, wrinkles across the forehead, raised and curved eyebrows, round mouth or rugged mouth. We also have that show happiness, for example, of course, a smile, the show of teeth and the raised cheeks. Now, in dramatization, the meaning of that which is skewed is brought out because it involves the body. Like we've seen the boys on the stage, they are dramatizing, they are performing, and the audience gets their information based on the intensity of the facial expressions, intensity of the body movements, and the intensity of the vocal projection on the stage. Now, for performance on stage to be successful, there are things that need to be done. For example, you can be asked questions. When you're preparing to present a performance, what are the important considerations that you will look out for? Now, if the question says you will, then the answer must begin, I will. So you can have answers like, I will get to the venue on time, I will be clear on the level and type of language to use, I will get to know about the likes and dislikes of the audience, I will ensure that I prepare appropriately, I will ensure that I put all my materials for use ready, I will assemble all the facts on the topic of discussion, and I would practice in advance. So if the question asked, what can you do? Then the answer must be, I can do this. And if the question asked, what should you do to ensure a proper performance? Then the answer must be, I should. And then you have the answers in that case. Let's look at other questions. For example, you're just about to deliver a very important speech. What will you do to capture the attention of the audience? Answers must begin, I will greet the audience, I will sing a relevant song, I will give an anecdote, I will clear my throat, I will clap my hands. If the answers don't have the will, then all of them are wrong because they do not go in line with the model auxiliary used in the question. The model auxiliary then therefore must be considered when answering such a question. Look at this other question. It says, you are delivering a speech at a friend's celebration of his anniversary. How will you use your voice effectively? The answers must begin, I will pose appropriately, I will use smooth tempo, I will stress appropriate words, I will embrace the right dialect or accent, I will appropriately use my intonation. I will project my voice effectively. I will be audible. Look at another question. You're delivering a speech at a friend's graduation in December. What should you do to sustain the attention of the audience? It can be what will you do? What can you do? What should you do? Now, let's go with what should. What should you do to sustain the audience's attention? So the answers must begin, I should employ relevant facial expressions. I should take note of the points effectively. I should use effective dramatic pauses. I should regulate my pace of delivery. I should see to it that my diction is appropriate. I should use relevant gestures. So if the question changes, then the modal auxiliary must be underlined. When answering such questions, after underlining the modal auxiliary, always write one sentence that has it and then you put a colon and answer all, or just begin. If it is a will, everything must begin I will, and you get all the questions right. Now, look at this other question. A motivational speaker will come to your school. All the candidates are invited. What can the speaker do to succeed? So the answers must begin, the speaker can master his voice, the speaker can provide confidence, the speaker can use appropriate gestures, the speaker can give relevant examples, the speaker can employ humor, the speaker can captivate the audience with a good introduction, the speaker can use varied voice, the speaker can be neat and well groomed, the speaker can be organized and systematic in his delivery, the speaker can handle a relevant topic or subject satisfactorily to the students. As you can see, we always observe the modal auxiliary in question. Let us now look at another question. What do the following movements imply during the delivery of speech by the Minister of Education? And then the first one is occasional looking outside. That would mean disinterest. Yawning would mean they're hungry, tired, or bored, or the speaker is just boring them up. What of fidgeting on their seats? It would mean they're bored, they're tired, or they're sick. What of moving close to the audience? That is seeking attention of the audience. What of pacing up and down? That would mean recollecting or trying to remember a particular point. Alright, now we want to look at a wrap-up of many other oral literature questions. Presentation during a debate. What should you consider? Number 1, use both verbal and non-verbal cues during presentation. Use polite, courteous, and gender-sensitive language. Be audible. Keep eye contact with the audience. Clearly state your side of argument. Greet the chairperson, speaker, and the audience. And those are the points that can be considered. Now, a question can ask, what are the qualities of a good debater? A good debater should be calm. A good debater should keep the debate topic at hand and relevantly speak about it. A good debater uses polite language. A good debater is audible during the debate and uses debate jargons. A good debater is confident. Right, another question could be, how would you lead a group discussion effectively as a chairperson? How can you lead a group discussion effectively? So I can break the ice by allowing everyone to introduce themselves. I can establish ground rules. I can encourage the use of courteous language. I can explain the topic of discussion clearly for everyone to understand. I can encourage everyone to participate. I can allow members to observe turn taking. I can allow a wrap-up of the discussion by summarizing the points. Now, another question is normally about an oral report. Oral reports are normally given briefly, and the question can be, when giving an oral report, what are some of the factors that should be considered. The following should be considered. 1, it should be short but accurate account of what occurs. It should also have a date and time of the occurrence, the location of the occurrence, and a detailed description of those involved. There must be the place and objective of the trip, thanks to the organizers of such a trip, and any other information that can be helpful. Alright, the following voice utilization should be considered when giving effective oral reports. Number 1, if you're talking about the use of the voice, it must be something verbal. For example, appropriate stress of words, pause when appropriate, and then use smooth tempo, use of pleasant pitch, embrace the right dialect and accent, use appropriate intonation, be audible, and project your voice well. And now finally I want us to look at some negotiation skills. Negotiation is a method of settling differences, of course, and when two parties are having a problem, for example, what we had in Kenya when Raila Odinga and Mwai Kibaki had political disagreements based on who won the election, Kofi Annan came and helped in negotiating. Now, the negotiations are important, but when you're asked, how would you negotiate effectively? So the answer would be, I would begin by greetings and introductions, and both parties would clearly state their positions of negotiation. Both parties should be patient and respect those points of negotiation. Then wit and tact should be embraced for the perfect bargaining power. Both parties should prepare for a win-win outcome. Now, sometimes you can be asked, what are the importances of negotiation? Number 1, delivers quality solutions. Number 2, minimizes future conflict. Number 3, helps in building relationships. Number 4, enhances fairness and mutual benefit. Number 5, it helps in settling disagreements or disputes in a peaceful manner. Now, in addition, we can also have something about personal space. Many times you're crammed up in a bus, you're going to town, and somebody sits very close to you, somebody stands close to you while speaking to you. What is this personal space? It's normally the area surrounding a person immediately. And when asked a question like, what do we need? What do you need to consider when talking about personal space? Number 1, it's important to respect personal space. Why? Because number 1, it prevents misinterpretation of signals. Somebody may come too close to you and you think they have some sensual desire. It helps maintain order and enhances efficiency. If somebody is too close in your mouth, you can't talk well. It is a mark of respect for other people and their culture. Some cultures demand that a younger person should stand far away from an older one. It reduces suspicion of pickpocketing. If somebody stands very close to you in the bank and your wallet is in the back pocket, you could feel uneasy because you may suspect they could pick away your wallet, and it makes other people comfortable around us. If you're too close in somebody's personal space, they're not comfortable. Now, we need personal space during the following. Number 1, when interacting with people whose culture demands it. Like there are cultures where you don't greet hands. There are religions like Roho where you don't greet hands, you clap your hands. And if there's no personal space, such people feel uncomfortable. Other people are being served in an office and you're behind them, you should give them personal space. When interacting with others, important people, and it's important to note that when interacting with somebody who has a higher rank than you, especially in society, you should not send you out. You should not stretch your hand to greet unless they have stretched theirs. When interacting with strangers, when sharing public facilities like transport, urinals, lifts, and when sharing other public utilities like phones, though nowadays they're not there. When you're also queuing for services in the bank, when you're going to serve at school, in the dining hall, there should be some personal space even in those areas. Thank you for listening, and I hope these oral skills will assist you in understanding and answering questions.